What's going on, guys? Justin here, back with another video, and today I want to go over my starts and sits for week 1 of the NFL season. So let's jump right into the sits. And not all these guys are must sits, but it's more so if you have a better option, I would pivot to them. So there are two offenses that I don't really feel good about this weekend. The first is the Titans. They are taking on a stout Denver Broncos defense in a game with the second lowest point total of the weekend at 42.5. I really liked Tony Pollard and Calvin Ridley in the draft, but I don't like their matchup this weekend. I think Pollard will get a good volume considering Tajay Spears is out, but I don't see many points or even rushing attempts as they are 8.5-point underdogs, which is also the largest spread of the weekend. I think Pollard could catch a couple passes, but if he doesn't find the end zone, then it could have you wishing for more. And Calvin Ridley could see a lot of Patrick Surtain. And with a rookie QB, I don't love that. As for Cam Ward, you should probably not be starting him in a 1 QB league, and if you have better options than Pollard, Ridley, and Cam Ward in a 2 QB league, I would go with those. The other offense that I'm not a fan of is the Jets. I did not like the Jets at their ADPs in the drafts, and I do not like them now taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. This game has the lowest point total of the weekend at only 38.5, giving the Jets an implied total of only about 18 points. Sure, Justin Fields has rushing upside, but there are likely better QBs available. As for the running backs, Braylon Allen could cut into Breece Hall's work, and you probably drafted Breece to start him, but I would look for better options. He'll likely need some catches to salvage a decent week. Garrett Wilson is also going up against Jalen Ramsey and Darius Slay. These guys are past their prime, but they are far from scrubs. I don't like Justin Fields as a passer, and the Steelers' pass rush is only going to hurt Wilson and the rest of the pass catchers even more. Moving on, the Browns' rookie running backs are also guys that I'm staying away from this weekend. I don't even know if Judkins will suit up, but he has barely been with the team, and in a crowded backfield, this is not someone I am trusting week 1. Dylan Sampson has been with the team, but I still think there's too much ambiguity in the running back room to give him a start. Jerome Ford has been listed as a starter on the depth chart, though that isn't always significant, but we will touch more on him in a bit. Caleb Johnson is another running back that I'm fading this week. Again, depth charts aren't the end-all be-all, but he came in at 3rd on the Steelers' running back depth chart. He hasn't had a great summer, and Jaylen Warren just got extended with Mike Tomlin committing to him as the lead back. Yes, things could change over the course of the season, but this is week 1, and I would be benching Caleb Johnson. Yet another running back that I am avoiding is Nick Chubb. He's projected to be the starter in Houston, but I think Dameon Pierce and maybe even my guy Dare can cut into his workload. Also, Nick Chubb could very well be washed, and I don't expect the Texans' rushing offense to be anything spectacular. Chubb hasn't caught a ton of passes in his career, and I do think the Texans will be passing quite a bit more than running the ball. If you have another option, I'd pivot off of Nick Chubb. The last sit I'm going with is yet another running back, and it's Najee Harris. I don't love the potentially split backfield with Omari and Hampton, and I dislike it even more specifically for Najee. He's missed almost all of training camp and the preseason, and I don't think his workload will be that significant immediately in week 1. I think there's even a chance he doesn't play, so that would make this a very easy sit. Moving over to my favorite starts of the week, there are 3 running backs that I shouldn't even have to mention, but they have such great matchups that I just want to quickly bring them up. James Conner, Chuba Hubbard, and Kenneth Walker. Put those guys in your lineups. Now, I brought up the Browns running backs before as sits, but I think their pass catchers could actually be all starts. As long as the weather doesn't get too windy or rainy, I think Judy, Njoku, Jerome Ford, and Joe Flacco could be in for decent games. They take on the Bengals in a game with the second highest point total of the weekend at 47.5. The Bengals will put up points, and the Browns should have to pass a lot to be able to put up points as well, with as bad as that Bengals defense is. Go ahead and fire up your Browns pass catchers as long as the weather holds. I also like the Ravens pass catchers. They head to Buffalo in a game with the highest point total of the week, set at 50.5. And it seems like Isaiah Likely will miss this game, which only gives a boost to guys like Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers. The Ravens are also worse running out of 11 personnel, which means there's only one tight end on the field, so they may have to pass the ball even more. This game should be a shootout with plenty of opportunities to score touchdowns. Go ahead and start your Ravens pass catchers. Another guy that I probably shouldn't have to mention is Alvin Kamara. The Saints' defense should be so bad that the offense is forced to pass, and the Saints' offense should be so bad that they will have to take a lot of the short stuff, and the main beneficiary of this is Alvin Kamara. I wouldn't be banking on a touchdown, but he should be able to do what he's done his entire career, and that's catch passes. Tyrone Tracy is another running back that I think should be in lineups. Devin Singletary and Cam Scatabo don't really scare me, and Tracy should get a good chunk of the running back work. Scatabo could cut in his workload over the course of the season, but he missed most of the preseason, so I think the Giants will lean on Tracy for the start of the season. This is a solid matchup against the Commanders as well, so go ahead and put the Boilermaker into your lineup. I don't love split backfields, but the Broncos should be in the right game script to where J.K. Dobbins gets a fair share of rushing attempts. Like I mentioned earlier, I don't think the Titans' offense will do a ton this week, so that means that the Broncos should have a lead and look to get out of the game with a win. Enter J.K. Dobbins. This is a decent spot start if you're worried about your other options. And there are 3 wide receivers that I want to bring up before I end this video. First is Xavier Worthy. Rashee Rice is suspended, Hollywood Brown and Juju Smith do not scare me one bit, and Father Time has gotten a hold of Travis Kelce. Patrick Mahomes has got to throw to someone, and his number one option is Xavier Worthy. Worthy had a very good stretch to end the season and into the postseason last year too. I think he can carry that over, and he becomes even more desirable thanks to the Rashee suspension. Rookie Emeka Egbuka has received a ton of hype over the course of training camp and the preseason. I would normally be worried about starting a second-string rookie wide receiver, but with the amount of the injuries the Bucs are facing, I think Emeka will get his fair share of opportunities in Week 1. I think Baker should distribute the ball well to his offensive skill guys, and there's no Godwin, no McMillan, and possibly no Cade Otton. A lot less mouths to feed, and Emeka should produce because of this. The last guy I wanted to talk about was Christian Kirk, but it's looking more and more like he's not actually going to play on Sunday. So to throw in another player, I'll go Tet McMillan. I think he has a really good matchup against this subpar Jags defense. Jalen Coker is out, Adam Thielen is gone, and I don't think Xavier Legette or Hunter Renfrow are going to demand that many targets. I'm cool with starting Tet this week. Let me know what you guys think, any questions you have, and your predictions for Week 1.